Okay. Right. I spy with my little eye something beginning with... W, I guess. Oh, don't roll your eyes. I know we've done W before, but look, it's either W for water or S for sky. Oh, hello everyone. Well, you join us today, somewhere in the middle of the ocean. I'm not sure which ocean, but you see, What? Oh, okay, yeah, I wanted to try a little experiment because it occurred to me that throughout all 48 episodes of Space 1999, we never once saw an eagle land anywhere that had water. It made me wonder if an eagle could actually land on water without sinking. Anyway, long story short, it can't. Which is why Marina and the Randomiser and I are now in a life raft drifting who knows where. Okay, Marina, your turn. Yes, you spy with your little eye something beginning with... No, see, we've already had S. That's sky, isn't it? What? Well, what else have you seen that begins with S?
Ahoy there! This is Captain Troy Tempest, World Aquanaut Security Patrol. Identify yourselves.
Oh, hello, Troy. Yeah, it's Chris Dale, and of course you know Marina here.
These waters are off limits to unauthorized traffic. Climb aboard your boat. We'll have to take you in for questioning.
Boat? What boat? We haven't got a... What, you mean the life raft? Oh, what's that, Marina? Okay, you spy... Oh, sorry, the Randomiser spies something beginning with P? Well, there is a lot of water around, but I don't think either of us have... Oh, wow! What a fantastic ship! Yes, well, we'd better climb aboard. And while we're aboard, we may as well review it. Here's new Captain Scarlet with Proteus. So here we go, time for some more new Captain Scarlet on the Randomiser, and I always love seeing this show come up on here, much like with Joe 90. The show just is such a happy experience for me, and because it's such an underrated show, I just love any chance to sort of push it, promote it, anything to get people looking at it more. So yeah, really happy to see this come up today. And of course it's from the second season of the show, which was just getting better and better by the week. So by this point we're into some really impressive stuff on the CGI front, with this huge battleship cruising along the ocean, the Proteus. Stealth ship just
Destiny, I've lost the target.
I know, me too. Maintain course.
My plane has the word Destiny written on the outside. I know. It happens a lot.
Thank you, Mr. Fiegler.
I actually watched New Captain Scarlet again quite recently, and that was one of the things that always bugged me, was the in the CGI, the sequences of the angels, when they're in the Falcons and they're flying, characters speaking with each other's voices, having the wrong character's name written on their helmet, on their plane, and it happened from the first episode right the way through to the end. But there we go, it's just one of those things they didn't have much time to deal with, I guess.
Prepare for attack.
Camouflage. Now.
The angels are tracking Proteus, but ooh, it's just gone invisible.
Colonel White, we've lost Proteus, sir. It's crazy, but she's disappeared.
Very well. Return to base. Congratulations, Captain. A very impressive demonstration.
Thank you, Colonel.
It's one
You managed to flummox Destiny. Very few people have managed this great feat, Captain.
Sub and dive when the enemy comes calling, but we
I'm cruel to Destiny, but
And
there
how
we go.
exactly do you perform that trick, Captain Holzer?
Sensors in the hull scan light reflecting off the ocean. Photo chips in the superstructure mimic whatever they pick up. Hey presto.
So as well as the CGI models, the model vehicles becoming more detailed and sophisticated, we're also at the point in the series where some of the human guest characters look,
Some cyber system.
not 100% realistic, but there's so much more detail on the face. And like this captain, his cheeks, he looks old. His skin looks very real, and his cheeks look sort of,
Captain Scarlet and I
don't know, sort of almost lightly kind of acne scarred or wrinkled or something. But yeah, that and the sort of stretch lines on the neck, the attention to detail on some of these guest characters is just superb.
The other side won't know a thing about it until it's all over.
He's showing off Proteus's missiles, which have a lot of. Got a lot of missiles, has the Proteus.
Why don't you just show me this one for now, Lieutenant?
Sure.
And this is also going to be an episode that very heavily focuses on Lieutenant Green, which is always a good thing for this show to do, because Jules de... Is it Jules? How do you pronounce her name? I heard it recently. Is it Jules de Jong? So good in this show. So fantastic.
Ship's brain. This is her heart.
And you heard it just there when the Lieutenant, what's his name, was flirting with her, and there's that sort of that note of amusement in her voice. She's so good in this. They're all good in this.
What is it?
Maintenance drone. Mav runs them. They take care of everything from the plumbing to the power plant.
Just ignore the fact that it makes the same noises as that killer robot you encountered on Mars last year or whenever it was.
You should see our system on Skybase.
I'd like that. Your computer and mine? I bet they'd have really cool microbytes.
Can I take a look at its circuit boards?
Sure.
Oh, you should be arrested for that. I'm sorry. That's what's the term? Disorderly conduct or whatever. Yeah, you're guilty of it. Anyway, you're dead, so who cares? And the Mysterons taking over Proteus's computers. Got into the Mabra mainframe that controls the robots. Because if there's one thing you don't do in this show, it's build robots, unless you want the Mysterons to get hold of them. Oh. The computers just shut down and then they came back on all green. Oh. Very sinister.
Fiegler? What's going on?
Don't know, sir. For a second, all systems went blank. I'm running a diagnostic, but Mab says everything's okay.
Quick as you can. It didn't feel okay. Holtz are out. I'm sure it's nothing.
Oh, could that be the quickest? There's absolutely no danger to death that we've ever seen in a Jerry Anderson show. Just, yep, he said the line and then laser through the back, and that's it. That's the end of the captain. But not the end of the robots. Yep, so the Mysterons got control of the computer controls the robots. So the Mysterons have these drone robots advancing on Scarlet and White from all sides.
We're cornered. If the others on the ship are like these, we won't stand a chance.
I'll cover you.
Now the robots aren't particularly good shots, but yeah. Oh, they took one out. They took one out as they left the room.
Mayday! Mayday! This is Proteus! This is Proteus! We have an emergency!
Radio silence enforced. All communications disabled.
What's happening?
Oh, that's an awesome jump moment. Green just slowly waking up, and then there's a great big robot reaching for her.
Are you all right?
The Mysterons. They've taken over the cyber system.
Then they've got control of the ship.
We have to get to the Hummingbird.
Oh, the Colonel's been hit. The Colonel is down.
Colonel!
Come on, sir. You can make it.
So Lieutenant Fiegler, well, we'll call him Lieutenant Feeble because he's chickening out. He's running away, stealing the Spectrum helicopter before Scarlet and Green and White can get on it. I'm not quite sure why they left it open and unlocked for anybody to stow away on, but it didn't do them any good because, bam, shot down.
We're trapped.
So that's the whole crew of Proteus dead now, of course.
Skybase, come in. This is Lieutenant Green. Spectrum is red. I repeat, Spectrum is red.
Ooh,
No good.
we don't often get to say that line on either version of the show, in fact.
His body armor absorbed a lot of the energy, but it's bad.
We've got to get him to a medic.
We'll have to do more than that. The Mysterons haven't taken this ship to go on a pleasure cruise. Proteus is heading for a target. Question is, what?
Oh, and putting it all under automated computer control seemed like a good idea. This never ends well for anybody, does it?
Proteus, come in.
What's the problem, Lieutenant?
I'm not getting... no, wait.
Oh, come on. You can forgive Lieutenant Silver a bit of you being a bit unfamiliar with control. She very rarely turns up in this show. I think this is her
Everything's fine.
third appearance, or in production order, it's second appearance. She's in Swarm and briefly in Touch of the Reaper as well. Otherwise, I think that's it for Lieutenant Silver.
Stand by, Captain. I'll contact you when we leave.
Very well, Colonel. Skybase out. Looks like they're making a day of it.
I also like in this show that they hinted at a couple of times in the original series was that Scarlet could be left in charge of Skybase, Blue could be left in charge of Skybase.
Careful. He doesn't stand a chance without you.
Yes, he does. He's got you.
And here we touch on something that, again, I think has only happened once in this show, and only happened in the original series in one of the mini-albums, where you have a situation where Lieutenant Green has got to protect the Colonel. And it's such a rare moment for two characters who have so much interaction in both the Super Mario Nation incarnations and the CGI one. They're constantly in the same room as each other, constantly talking to each other, but they very rarely go on missions together. And you know, CGI Green saved CGI White back in Contact, I think, and Super Mario Nation Green saved Super Mario Nation White in one of the mini albums. I want to say it was the fourth mini album, and it is an interesting change, change from the norm to have the junior officer looking after the senior officer, and it does, I think, point to, okay, this is a superior and a subordinate, but these are also two people who genuinely care about each other. And I would have loved to have seen it on screen in the Super Mario Nation era, but I think it's done really well with the CGI characters in this one. Anyway, Scarlet has got out of the medical bay. Green has barricaded it up, and he's now trying to make his way to
You can kill me, Scarlet.
the bridge to deal with the Mysteron captain.
You can't stop her.
Where are we headed?
200 miles off the Mariana Islands, there's a warship carrying the president of the Chinese People's Republic. Like Proteus, it's a new ship undergoing sea trials. Not so advanced, of course.
You're gonna destroy it?
The Chinese won't see us coming. But later, they'll find plenty of evidence of the American Crusader missiles that sank it.
I'm also wondering how much this episode, as much as I enjoy it, was inspired by Tomorrow Never Dies. Because, I mean, I haven't seen that film in quite a while, but didn't the baddies in that have a stealth ship and they were trying to start a war with China?
Target
I mean, it's not a huge element of this episode, but it is part of it. But it's great that maybe that served as the germ of an idea, and then from there,
I'm on the bridge.
Phil Ford was able to develop it into this Mysterons take over the ship, Mysterons take over the robots, and Green is looking after White
What about you?
scenario.
The Mysterons are planning to kill the Chinese president and trigger a world war. There's only one way to stop them. You've got 5 minutes before I blow Proteus out of the water. Your job is to get the Colonel clear. You must get him back to Skybase.
Understood, Paul.
Good luck, Serena. And watch out for those drones. Scarlet out.
And something else that's quite interesting in this episode is compare some of Green's facial reactions in this, the look of fear in her eyes and on her face, to the same kinds of expressions that we saw in Homecoming. And they're still not 100% lifelike, but there's so much more improved. There's so much more expression and emotion in the eyes and in the face, and yeah, she just moved there from fear to determination. I love this show. I wish this show could have gone on. But I also love this incarnation of Green as well. As much as I love the original, I I do like the CGI one as well, because she is, she is strong, she is resourceful, like where she just, one gun wasn't enough to take down the robots, so she's just stolen the kernels as well. Now she's got one in each hand. She is also clearly inexperienced in terms of field combat like this. And she's just having to learn it as she goes along, and it's carried very well in the performance, but it's also carried very well.
Say hello to the junkyard!
Okay, forget everything I said. Forget everything I said. This show sucks. No, we're done. We're done. It's all over. Cancel it. Throw it away. Oh. Well, despite that, why did they have to keep doing that in this show? Those kinds of lines?
Target in range.
And I
in
just...
4 minutes.
And it's always at a moment where I'm like, this is absolutely beautiful, perfect, it can't get any better, and then it's just... Oh, one-liners like that. No. And that's probably the only flaw I can find in this show.
Nothing out there but tuna.
See, even that, I don't know if that's meant to be funny or what, or just an odd line, but that works. Say hello to the junkyard, though. Oh. Anyway, Green has made it to an escape pod with the Colonel. While Scarlet has got 2 minutes left to defeat Lieutenant Lieutenant Microbytes, or whatever, who has also been taken over by the Mysterons. And looks actually very similar to Scarlet. The torpedoes are loading up. Ooh, pointing upwards. Ready for launch. I suppose actually, having said that this episode focuses quite heavily on the relationship between White and Green, it's kind of odd in that sense that the Colonel is unconscious for much of it.
Target in range in 1 minute.
But yeah, it is just so great to see Green in this situation, having to protect a man she admires against these impossible odds. Oh, and a nasty unseen death for Lieutenant Microbytes there. Scarlet just lobbed him into the path of a torpedo launch tube, and he got crushed. An off-screen death, actually, which is quite rare for this series. Usually it wasn't afraid to show a bit of blood and guts, but there we go. Anyway, Green and White, they're out. The escape pod is away.
Target in range in
And they're safe.
9, 8, 7, 6.
Scarlet's cut it very close. He's put mines on the torpedo launchers just before they were due to launch. And the whole ship is going up. And here comes an absolutely gorgeous shot as the Chinese see Proteus emerging from its stealth cloak, on fire and exploding. It's lovely. And this show didn't always do CGI water especially well, but by this point, I think they'd really worked out how to do it. And oh yay! That is such a supremely cool moment of Scarlet leaping out of the way of the oncoming explosion. Again, though, it's one of those images that defines the CGI Scarlet as a master of just-in-time escapes. To the point where it doesn't really matter if he's indestructible or not, because he always gets out of any situation. Anyway, he's slightly oddly swimming to the escape pod. Back to Skybase.
Checkmate. You always leave your counterattack until the last moment, Scarlet. In chess, that's too late.
You should try being more impetuous. I hear it's good.
You're looking well, sir.
Thank you. I feel like I've been hit in the back by a wrecking ball. But I understand that I owe my life to you.
I just did what I had to, sir.
Oh.
You acquitted yourself well in the field, Lieutenant. You've earned promotion to captain.
Oh, yay.
What do you say, Captain Green?
Oh, she looks so shy about this as
Thank
well.
you,
Shy and
Colonel,
awkward.
Sir, but if it's all the same to you, I'd rather stay a lieutenant. I'd rather stay with you.
And I rather hope that was what you would say.
And that rather creepy expression from Colonel White brings us to the end of Proteus. I kind of wish they'd let Green be promoted this close to the end of the series, but it, you know, it's one of those things that could disrupt the episode order if they're shown out of sequence. Anyway, that was a really good one. Not the absolute highest, but certainly a really solid episode of New Captain Scarlet. And if you haven't seen it, it's available for free right now on the Jerry Anderson YouTube channel, so you have absolutely no excuse not to say hello to the junkyard. Mm-hmm.